Hi everyone, I'm Anand Mitra, co-founder of Afore. Today I have the eminent pleasure of talking to two super founders, co-founders and co-CEOs of Hightouch, Kashish and Tejas. This is a particularly exciting moment for me personally, having watched the company and these two founders in front of us go from strength to strength. We have some amazing announcements to make, but with that, I just want to hand it over to Kashish and Tejas to just talk briefly about the announcements, and then we can dive in deeper.
Anand Mitra, thanks for having us, and thank you for the support over all the years. We have a lot of exciting announcements today. First, we crossed 100 million last week of ARR, which we are very grateful to our customers for supporting us for these last 5 years and getting there. Two, we raised our Series D at 2.75 post from Goldman Sachs and Bain Cap Ventures. And we launched our agentic marketing platform, which we believe will redefine how marketers do their marketing.
Those are three big Whopper announcements. I want to dive into all of them. But before all of that, let's wind the clock back. Today, you're sitting here, new office, amazing staff, with all of these amazing announcements to make, but it didn't quite start there. Both of you moved to San Francisco with nothing but a suitcase, as it were. In both of your cases, you had no safety net. This was a one-shot. Take us back to those days, maybe briefly, about how you got started.
Yeah, Tejas and I actually met at a hacker house in the Mission called Mission Control. Think of it like a 10-bedroom house. All of us were living there with a bunch of friends. At the time, he was working at a company called Segment. And then we started this business together, which at the time was ChatGPT for travel, but it was before ChatGPT existed. So we were using natural language processing to build the AI. And then we just iterated from there. We brought on our third co-founder, Josh. Pivot after pivot after pivot after COVID. We now have about 380 employees and this brand new office with 13,000 square feet in SF.
It's quite a journey. It also, for me, feels like a personal journey. Having watched both of you, I don't see personally a difference between the three of you and the company itself. I know that's a very seed way of looking at things, but the company is now Series D. So with that, maybe tell us a little bit more about the three key announcements, the revenue traction, the product traction, and obviously, as a result of all of that, the fundraising momentum, which is the big sort of announcement.
Yeah, so on the revenue side, we recently crossed 100 million in revenue, which is super exciting. The tailwind that's really driving this is that we've launched agentic marketing products that are really the first type of AI products for marketing teams that are taking off in the enterprise and trusted by some of the biggest consumer brands in the world. The thing that we do uniquely versus kind of all the other marketing AI products out there is, one, we are really able to create on-brand creative and campaigns for ads, for emails, for push notifications, web pages that truly look and feel like they were created by the marketing and design teams at these large consumer brands versus that they were created by AI, right? A lot of AI assets today look like they were created by AI. And the way that ours don't is that we actually put together all of the context that's necessary to teach AI how to create assets that look and feel like a brand. So all your past campaigns, all your past creative, we connect to Figma, all of the asset managers that companies have, and pull it all together in a way that's really easily understandable.
And in the process of raising the Series D, what we found, and I think like one of the theses that we have, is that there is no current solution for marketers to use AI. The foundation models are excellent at intelligence, but they don't have context on your brand and the marketing that works or doesn't work for your brand. So our primary function is to give those foundation models that context on your past marketing, on the metrics, on the customer data, all of which we have access to because of the software that we built over the last 5 years. And so when Tejas, Josh, and I were talking about this last year, we felt, hey, we have a huge advantage here. How do we use AI to really create the supermarketer, the marketer that can do significantly more than they used to be able to do? Because now they have the power of AI at their fingertips. And about 18 months ago, we set out to build that. And now we're seeing real large consumer brands adopting AI in their advertising and in their email functions. One thing that we really hold as a principle is that AI should not be a chatbot. It shouldn't be, I'm talking to an LLM, therefore now it's AI. So we decided to build our platform from the ground up with AI in mind. And we think of it as a coworker that you delegate large or vast amounts of work to. Sometimes our product is doing the work of 5 or 10 designers, marketers, brand strategists all at once and coming back to you with a completed task. And so we really think of it as that kind of coworker more so than a chat box. And instead of having it rely on our past product, we built it from the ground up. It takes into context, as Tejas mentioned, everything from your Figma, every marketing asset you've ever put into production, and learns what works. So imagine like giving it years and years of history for your brand, but then putting that into the embeddings of an LLM so that intelligence is now represented in this thing that you can talk to and work together with. We built the platform in two verticals. So we have an agentic advertising platform and an agentic lifecycle marketing platform. Both of these are purpose built for those functions. So the ads platform is particularly good at creating still images and videos for advertisers, learning from all your past ads that you've ever run, thinking of brand new ideas. One thing that people find is, can we use AI to generate new ideas, not just to do exactly what I tell it to do? And so it comes up with completely new ideas based on research for ad campaigns that it can then create for you and actually then run for you. On the lifecycle marketing side, we built an entire email composer that will actually write the HTML for your email campaigns, but everything is on brand. The logo is your actual logo, the colors are your actual colors, the template is the actual email template. And so you can actually ship your AI emails into production versus it's a science experiment, but it's not actually able to be used in real life.
So staying on brand seems to be an important aspect of what customers at this scale want, because they've spent a lot of money and their brand represents something, and AI can't just replicate it off the shelf, and it has to, and that's what they really care about, right?
Exactly. Yeah. The biggest problem that we found to making agents work for marketing is equipping them with all of this context that's proprietary to a business and exists across a bunch of different systems today. So, marketing teams have all their campaigns spread across different systems like ad networks, Facebook, Google, TikTok, but also marketing tools like Salesforce or Adobe or Braze or Iterable. Hightouch from the beginning for 5 years now has built connections to 300 plus marketing systems. And we just expanded those connections with AI. We started connecting to creative tools like Figma or Adobe or Box or digital asset managers. And that context is what's required to allow the AI to be able to actually understand what is really on brand and what does the look and feel of your brand look like. Since marketing is not a simple task like coding, where connecting to the code base and you can run the code and you can see if it works. It needs all this context that's typically embedded in the marketing team's perspective and taste.
The other thing I want to sort of dive into is the 100 million in ARR. In a world not too long ago, that would have been an IPO ready company. How do you feel having taken the company to 100 million? Not something that every company does. And then what's coming? Where is this going?
Well, to be honest, we feel like we're just getting started. It still does feel like a startup that moves at startup pace. And Tejas and I were kind of like, almost like feeling surreal that we hit 100 million, because back in the day, that was our dream, right? It was like, let's get to 100 million. That means we really made it. But now that we're here, we feel like, honestly, the opportunity ahead is so much bigger. Before we built all these like UIs and ways for marketers to use data, right? That was product number one. Product number two now is like significantly larger and wider in what it can do. With AI, we can now have actually like significantly more ambition of the products that we're willing to build. And people have this idea, right? Like, what if there's a SaaS apocalypse? What if you don't need SaaS tools anymore? And our take is, well, if that happens, we want to be the one that makes it happen. The ones that builds agents and builds agentic tooling to replace the old age of SaaS tools. And so for us, like, I think if you had asked us a few years ago, do you think this can become $1 billion revenue business? We would have said maybe. Though now we feel much stronger that that's possible.
That's right. You're already at nearly 2.5, more than 2.5 to almost 3x of that
And
potential
like,
already.
and month over month, the things that customers are asking us for are getting more exciting and more interesting. They're asking us questions like, hey, I tried Gemini to make advertisements. It doesn't work. Can you make this work for me? And then we'll spin up a team to go build that. And then we'll figure out how to make LLMs not hallucinate, right? So like, we're almost doing like research level work at Hightouch, which we've never been able to do before. And then that's just pretty cool.
Right. And you're working with the world's largest brands too, and they have an immense amount of capital to be able to deploy against this. Do you find a lot of confusion or fear or excitement in these brands about AI, especially as it applies to marketing?
Yeah, the top brands in the world are hugely looking for education on what's the best way to actually approach using AI in their marketing that works and meets their standards. Everyone knows that, mom and pop shops or D2C brands are using AI to generate their ads and web pages and everything. But when you go to the largest brands in the world, they're just not getting outputs that meet their quality bar. And so what's really interesting at Hightouch is we've accumulated this customer base of over 600 customers and deep relationships with these customers, right? 15 plus of our customers pay us over $1 million a year. So we're a very strategic vendor for the CMOs group and the marketing work there. And with that, they are coming to Hightouch and asking us how should they approach using AI in their marketing stack, which puts us in a really interesting position to not just launch our agentic marketing platform, but to launch more and more AI products for customers under that umbrella.
That's right. And the future is, hopefully much bigger than $1 million per customer and much bigger than 15. Part of the manifestation of all the success with the business and the team and the product is the fundraise. This is the largest valuation the company's achieved, which is terrific, and comes on the heels of less than 12 months since you raised the last round. How were you able to do this so quickly?
Well, we make this joke that our revenue more than doubled last year, so our valuation should also more than double. When our employees ask us, like, how did you raise at 2.75? But really, it's the opportunity, right? So Goldman and Bain both saw this, which is that we're doubling revenue. We think we can do it again, but enterprise brands trust us, and they want us to do significantly more than being a data tool for them. They want us to help them with content creation, with actually running their marketing, using AI in like very interesting ways. And so that kind of compound startup is like really what we aspire to build. And they saw that. We've been multi-product for a while. We have almost like 5 or 6 products, and a variety of those are used by different marketing teams, but we're not stopping there. We feel that we can build like the next Salesforce or the next Adobe, but agentic. And those folks have over 5 billion each of revenue in our space.
In just marketing.
In a way, this fundraise and this announcement is a big signal to the market, to future employees, to current employees, to customers and future customers, and also to the fundraising market too, about what the potential with a company like Hightouch is. That must give you optimism and excitement, right? And makes you feel maybe this is still just starting. While it's been some time, there's a long way to go here.
At the end of the day, I think we're intrinsically just super excited about what we're working on Hightouch, and it's the customer feedback and CMO conversations that fire Kashish, Josh, and I up and make us realize the potential here of rewriting the playbook of marketing. But we're really excited about the fundraise as an endorsement of that from reputable investors like Goldman and Bain, and an endorsement to the market that just like AI is transforming coding and support, we're going to see a major transformation on how marketing is done.
So I'm assuming a doubling of revenue in another 10 months and then fundraising in another 10 months to keep pace, right?
Fingers crossed. If all goes well, that could happen.
Tejas, Kashish, anything you'd want to share with anyone in the ecosystem, founders who are trying to follow your footsteps, or folks who are trying to recruit customers, perhaps? Like, what is the message that you want to leave everyone with?
Well, I guess we're very aggressively hiring across the engineering and go-to-market teams. So if you are watching this video and you have any friends who'd be interested in joining a fast-growing startup, please reach out. We would be very, very excited to meet them directly. Tejas and I would be happy to take the call and like get to know those folks. And on the customer side, there is a lot of uncertainty about how to use AI for marketing and how to use AI for on-brand content creation. Similarly, we're excited to just like jam on that kind of stuff and educate and learn from you. So if you've tried to do this in-house, please talk to us. If you want to do this in-house or with Hightouch, please talk to us.
Well, thank you so much to both of you for taking the time out. Congratulations on the new office, the new fundraise, the amazing 100 million in ARR, and most excitingly, the new product. I can't wait to see what the rest of the year brings.
Thanks,
Anandra.